Hello students, in today's lecture we are going to discuss electromagnetic field theory, or in this lecture we will first comfort ourselves with electromagnetism as an introduction along with all the basic formulas. So let us begin. Now electro, this comes from the word electricity, and this is coming from the word electricity, and magnetism, that is what you are doing in the magnetic field, this theory. So electricity concepts, that is Coulomb's law, charges, currents, etc., plus magnetic field concepts like magnetic lines of force are closed curves, magnetic lines of force start from the north pole and end at the south pole, etc. We will combine both of them to produce electricity, and the terms which we are going to deal in electromagnetism are charges. You must have heard a lot about charges, that Q is equal to IT, or charges are quantized, they are occurring in multiples of NE. Current, that is I, that is I, which is variation of charge with respect to time, that is when the charge starts flowing we get current. Electric field generates when charges from plus charge, electric lines of force are entering the minus charge, they are open. Magnetic field, that is originating from the north pole and entering south pole, and they are continuous curves, that means they go from inside the magnet also. So in electromagnetic field theory, we will be combining charges, current, electric field, magnetic field concept. We will then switch over to Maxwell's equation, who gave a totally new picture to electromagnetism, and see how current gets generated. Now, varying electric field will produce a varying magnetic field, and they will be perpendicular to each other. You must have heard about Lorentz force also out here, QE plus QVB, which is produced due to electric field, magnetic field. So basically electromagnetic theory is just combining electricity and electrostatics and magnetostatics, and then making it flow, because current flows when charges are in motion. This is one addition which Maxwell did to this theory. Let us first familiarize ourselves with symbols, because there are lots of derivations involved in EMT and you should be knowing the meaning of each symbol. E, and this is the vector symbol, means electric field intensity. P, electric polarization. Where will we use this? We will use when we say that charges are polarized. D, the displacement vector, or the electric displacement vector also you can say. This comes when the charges get displaced because of the electric field. This is not current, this is just known as electric displacement vector. Epsilon naught is permittivity of free space. Its mathematical value is 8.85 into 10 to the power of minus 12 coulomb per Newton meter square. Mu naught, these two terms are very confusing, so please again listen carefully. Epsilon naught is permittivity, you are permitting someone. Mu naught is permeability, how much it is penetrating, how much is the permeability of free space, which is 4 pi into 10 to the power of minus 7 Henry per meter. When we take a medium, we will replace epsilon naught with epsilon and mu naught with mu for that specific medium. Then B is magnetic flux density. What is flux? If for an open surface the number of lines passing through the surface are known as flux, and this flux keeps varying. So if I say this is the symbol for flux, Then electric field, it will be E dot A, where E is electric field intensity and A is my area of the surface. Similarly, flux for magnetic field will be B dot A, where B is magnetic field intensity and A is area. Now, this formula B is equal to mu naught into H plus I, and D is epsilon naught E plus P. That means displacement due to electric field and polarization of charges. In case polarization is not there, then you write D is epsilon naught E and B is mu naught H. Stokes law, Gauss law, these two theorems you should be knowing. Stokes law states that the line integral of f dot dr is equal to this is what we are doing, is we are converting line integral to surface integral. So integral del cross f d dot ds. And Gauss divergence theorem, we are converting surface integral into volume integral. So Stokes law and Gauss law, and Gauss divergence theorem, which states that the surface integral can be changed to volume integral, and in Stokes it is this curve which is getting changed to surface integral. You should be knowing this. Now let us quickly see all formulas which we will face in this theory of electromagnetism. Let us begin. We will first begin with the very basic formulas, the symbols and their meanings. So electromagnetism is electricity and magnetism. So electricity begins with Coulomb's law, charges, that is, and charges are quantized and charges are conserved. So we begin with first basic formula for electromagnetic field theory is that Gauss law states that the total electric flux, you can remember it as Gauss law or Gauss theorem also. The Gauss theorem states that the total electric flux or the magnetic flux across a surface is equal to charges enclosed by the surface upon epsilon naught, right? And Stokes law, as I told you, is the surface integral of the curl of a function over a surface bounded by a closed surface, which is equal to line integral of the particular vector function. Next term is electric flux. I told you before also, again I am repeating, electric flux is E dot A. We will also be writing it as integral form. You can see it here only. It is integral E dot ds. Magnetic flux, phi b is equal to B dot A. You can write this also in integral form as phi b is equal to integral B dot ds, where ds is the surface or the area in integral form. Then very famous formula, charge is equal to current into time. Current density, this term will come a lot in your EMT theory. Current density J is equal to I upon A, which is current upon area. Next, current is variation of charge. When the charges start flowing, then current flows. This can also be written in integral form as I is equal to surface enclosed J dot ds. See this formula, J is equal to I upon A. We have written it like this in integral form because lot of curl, gradient, divergence, etc. will be involved. Then Gauss law of electrostatics or Maxwell's first equation, del dot This del symbol, I'll just tell you, this is electric displacement vector dependent upon the charge density rho. So D is displacement vector, rho is charge density, and del symbol is basically del upon del x, del upon del y plus del upon del z for the three-dimensional. Then current density JD for the electric displacement vector can also be written as del D upon del T. This is electric current displacement density. Then the total current density is equal to the sum of current density due to conduction charges and the ones due to conduction charges and the ones that have been displaced, that is the displacement charges. This is actually, you will get it a more clear picture of this when I say that in a capacitor I insert a dielectric. Immediately, due to induction, already charges are there. When a dielectric gets inserted in between, these charges move. So that movement has happened because of these electric symbols of plus and minus. So that we say as displacement charges. So the total current density is sum of conduction charges and electric displacement charges. Then in conducting media, the current density is equal to sigma E, where this sigma means conductivity. Conductivity. Suppose the medium is a good conductor, then what happens? Okay, after these formulas, let me tell you one more basic formula which will be required a lot in your numerical questions. That is, you should be noting them down because that formula is used in many numericals. The formula is, what is the surface area of a sphere? So, surface area of a sphere, since this becomes 3D, so y, x and z and x. Okay. Suppose I take any arbitrary sphere like this here, then the surface area of this sphere, and suppose this is the point with which dA, and it is holding an angle d theta here, and this is theta, and here d phi, and this is phi, right? Just you only need to memorize that. And the radius is r, of course. So surface area of a sphere is equal to dA is r square sine theta d theta d phi. Right? Now, electromagnetic wave. That means a wave which is having electric field components, magnetic field components, and perpendicular to light. Velocity of light. C here is velocity of light. When such a wave travels and when electric field varies, magnetic field gets produced, magnetic field varies, electric field gets produced. So the coupled oscillating electric and magnetic fields that move with the speed of light are, and of course they are exhibiting a wave-like behavior, is known as an electromagnetic wave. These waves are transverse in nature. We will be proving this. They are transverse in nature. We have two types of wave motions, transverse and longitudinal. Electromagnetic waves. Electromagnetic waves are transverse in nature. Then rate of flow of energy in any electromagnetic wave, rate of flow of energy is given by Poynting vector, which is S is equal to E cross H, and I have told you that B is mu naught H. So I can also write this formula in terms of B as 1 upon mu naught into E cross B. This is for energy of an electromagnetic wave, electric field intensity, magnetic field intensity, permeability, and H, the magnetic, this is magnetic field strength and the magnetic force here, right? Then the impedance is given by E upon H is equal to mu naught upon epsilon naught under root. You can put the mathematical intrinsic impedance of wave impedance. You can put their mathematical values here, 4 pi into 10 to the power of minus 7 upon 8.85 into 10 to the power of minus 12, and approximately this comes out as 376.72 ohm. You will be requiring this and this a lot for your Poynting numericals, and it is very important also. Then the root mean square value for the electric field is E naught upon root 2. Average energy density is given by half epsilon naught E square, or in terms of root mean square you can write epsilon naught E root mean square value, right? Energy flux is equal to velocity of light into energy density, velocity of light into energy density. Then energy associated with electric field is equal to energy associated with magnetic field, and their ratio epsilon naught E square upon mu naught E square is equal to 1. So this is the formula. Now we will now study a bit about, this is all electromagnetic wave, and we are dealing with different formulas which will be requiring in our whole electromagnetic theory. Next set of formulas, again they are for the electromagnetic wave only. You should be writing them down separately because all numericals, all derivations, we will continue requiring these terms and formulas, and lot of derivations are there here. Plane electromagnetic wave equations in free space are given by del 2E is equal to mu naught epsilon naught del 2E upon del T2 for electric field. Similarly for magnetic field, del 2B is equal to mu naught epsilon naught del 2B upon del T2. They are plane electromagnetic equations in free space. Also, velocity of light is given by C is equal to under root mu naught upon epsilon naught, which is equal to 3 into 10 to the power of 8 meter per second. Then electric and magnetic field vectors are perpendicular to each other, and they are perpendicular to the velocity of light. So the wave propagation vector K into magnetic field intensity is equal to frequency minus sign, frequency mu naught epsilon naught E. This just proves that electric field, magnetic field are perpendicular, and then both are perpendicular to velocity of light. That is all. Now velocity of wave propagation or phase velocity is given by V is equal to frequency upon phase factor. Please keep writing the formulas along with me. So this is omega upon beta. Now what is this phase factor? This is actually what happens is that for conducting media, we will be taking attenuation and phase factors to introduce you to what conducting media is all about when electromagnetic wave comes in conducting media. So okay, first I will tell you what is beta. Wait. Till here it was electromagnetic wave. They are transverse in nature. The E, B are perpendicular to C. One more thing. Electromagnetic wave exerts pressure on whichever surface it falls. And we know that the radiation pressure exerted is equal to force upon area for any EMT wave that is falling. And this is given by U. So it is equal to the energy density. It is equal to energy density of the wave. Now momentum imparted to the surface. Momentum imparted to the surface is twice of energy density, that is 2u, because this ray is falling and then reverting back. So momentum, how much did it impart? U minus u, so 2u, twice of it. In conducting media, the current density J is equal to sigma into E, where this sigma is conductivity of the medium. Conductivity of the medium. Now, the wave equation for a conducting media is del 2E is equal to gamma square E. Now, this del is del upon del x plus del upon del y plus del upon del z. So, this gamma is a complex number, and now because wave is moving in all three dimensions, that is why we have to take the complex number. So it is sigma plus j omega E. I will tell you the symbols here. Gamma is a complex number which shows that electromagnetic waves travel as a complex function. J is my complex factor. J is equal to under root of -1. Omega is angular frequency, mu is permeability, sigma is conductivity. Once again, J is the complex factor, omega angular frequency, and E is electric field. You will be deriving all these things in your theory. So just remember that this factor, propagation constant, a complex quantity, has real part and imaginary part. So alpha and j beta. Here alpha, the real part, is known as attenuation constant, and beta, the imaginary part, is known as phase constant. Now this becomes a bit tough, but we will be deriving all this in our theory. So, because we are now discussing electromagnetic wave in conducting media. So, conducting media, it travels as a complex parameter. That is all. You don't need to worry much. Just remember these formulas. In conducting media, when an electromagnetic wave travels in conducting media, then for a conducting media, the uniform plane wave that propagates in the forward z direction with phase constant beta is given by E x is equal to E naught e to the power of minus alpha z cos omega t minus beta z. You just memorize it for now. We will derive it step by step. Now, for good conductors, what happens is when this EMT wave travels, for good conductors, Ex becomes a combination of E naught e to the power of minus under root omega mu sigma upon 2 dot z e to the power of minus j under root omega mu sigma upon 2z. Here this factor is your attenuation factor, and this factor is your phase factor and attenuation factor, which you should be memorizing it right now only. Their detailed derivations we will be doing later. Next, you can also skin depth. There is 1, 2 more, 3 more formulas. Skin depth. How much has the wave penetrated? That means, if suppose I say this is the distance till which it penetrated, distance, suppose it is electric field, then how much did it penetrate? So the depth of penetration or skin depth of penetration or skin depth is the depth in which the strength of electric field associated with the electromagnetic wave reduces to 1 upon E times its initial value. So skin depth del is 1 upon attenuation constant, and again we will take it for different cases, that is for good conductors, bad conductors, etc. So attenuation constant, we will put the value 1 upon omega into mu epsilon upon 2 under root 1 plus sigma square upon omega square epsilon square minus 1 and this whole to the power of half. Now, your numericals come on these two formulas. For good conductors, what is the skin depth? So, for good conductors, sigma upon omega epsilon is very much greater than 1. So, your skin depth becomes equal to under root 2 upon omega mu sigma, which omega you can also write it as 2 pi f. So it becomes under root 1 upon pi f mu sigma. This is the formula for good conductors, and you can note that the skin depth decreases with increase in frequency of the wave. This is formula of skin depth for good conductors. Similarly, we have skin depth for good conductors. We have taken up the case. Then for poor conductors or good dielectric or insulators. For poor conductors, good dielectric or insulators, the skin depth for insulators is del is equal to 2 upon sigma under root epsilon upon mu. Dielectric for skin depth is independent of frequency for insulators. So these are few formulas. Now we will continue in the next lecture with further theory. Thank you.